people, the planet, the earth, and everything that has breath belongs to just one person. Dear content creators, can I remind you that if your content don't speak of the creator, then you are just another creator in the devil's content calendar, dear students. Can I remind you that if you fail to study the books of all books, then you are liable to fail the entrance exam of heaven? Dear creative, can I remind you that if your creativity do not speak of the greatest creative, then you are just a creative mistake? Dear singers, can I remind you that if your songs don't align with the melodies of heaven, then you might just end up a guest artist in hell? Dear prophets, can I remind you that if you still haven't overcome the power of sin, then you are just a puppet? Dear preachers, can I remind you that if your messages don't contain the coming of Yahweh, then you are just a speaker? And even to the speaker, can I remind you that if your voice isn't recognized by the community of heaven, then you are a speaker on a stretcher? And to all of you seated here today, can I remind you of that day when this man will stand before the Father, no Father, no Mother? You will give an account of your deeds and misdeeds, your actions and inactions. So what would you say?